Right, so let's see. Oh yeah, we've got to go see the postman. And this is where we find out he's not here, and then we go to see the ship.
Hey, not.
I was trying to think what do they sound like when I'm mashing through text, and I figured it out. It sounds like the backwards speech from Twin Peaks
Hey,
when they're in the
Louise,
Red Room.
I brought your food for today. What's wrong? Aren't you hungry? Huh. You haven't been eating much lately. Are you okay? Well then, let's try this.
Yeah, true, that's also that. This is really bizarre. I don't know what... I don't know what he's singing right now, but the way that they actually represented that is with, like... with an instrument playing. It sounds like someone doing a really bad job with a recorder.
Yeah, sorry about that. It's called a song. Humming a jaunty tune is the best thing for putting a spring in your step.
I hope it's not like that because I turned on the Automata music, but I don't recognize that from Automata either.
Songs are like a little bit of wisdom that makes the tough times easier. I love them personally. I mean, not that I'm any good at singing.
No, clearly, because that was not singing.
Whoa, your voice is a bit rough there, but you're actually pretty good. Huh. You know, I knew someone who lived in the town lighthouse before she died. She used to hum this same song a lot. I heard it every time I stopped by to deliver something, and I guess it just kinda stuck. Of course, that was quite a while ago. Hey, are you trying to cheer me up? You are a kind soul, Louise.
I'm sensing some really weird magic going on here, Sunshine. You feeling it too?
Yeah. Is it a shade?
Are you actually trying to think something through rather than just jumping in and killing?
What's wrong, Kaine?
Nothing. It's just... I'm sensing a presence from seafront. Something like a shade.
A shade in the town? That's not good.
A shipwreck, is it? I suppose we might as well investigate, seeing as how we lack any other tenable leads.
Right. Let's
You
head
know,
for the
if I
inlet.
wasn't such a fucking animal, I would stop for a minute, go to the kitchen and just get a glass, but... Nah. Nah, just drink it straight from the bottle.
Kaine. Emil. What's going on? I haven't seen you two come into Seafront in, well, ever, I guess.
Sorry for the surprise. Kaine said she sensed something strange in the area.
Strange how? Like a shade?
Maybe? Not sure. There's some kind of sound or something coming from up ahead.
What an incredibly specific piece of information the hussy has graced us with.
What is it, Kaine?
Nothing. Let's get moving.
Yes, they do. They take on a very significant tone. shift.
We're gonna need to figure out some way to get inside that thing.
This ship is in a
Automata
state of
does it as
wanton
well,
decay.
but to a lesser
Surely
extent
we can
in a
find
way.
a hole or some such if we put our minds to it.
Because the machines can talk and communicate with you in Automata, there's not as much ambiguity about their motives,
These
but you still
planks
learn a
seem to
lot
be
more
covering
during
a rather
the second
large
route.
hole.
And the third route is actually just a sequel, so it just continues the story. And that's when you start to get all the big answers and revelations.
We can probably get in if we move him out of the way.
I'm worried about whatever it is Kaine is sensing. We should make sure we're really prepared before going inside.
So for this, there is a room we actually missed on the first time through here, so I'll be making sure to get that. But anything else, I'll just be skipping and mashing through as much as possible.
So, were you able to write that letter? You know, now that I've taught you how. Not yet, huh? Well, there's certainly no reason to rush. You know, it makes me happy that you've taken such a shine to me. First time we met, I didn't have the foggiest idea what was going on in that head of yours. So, hey, I've been thinking. How about you come live with me? It might be kind of nice to have a daughter around.
Now, I get the sentiment he's going for, but he probably could have phrased that in a less creepy way. But that might just be the fact that my brain is ruined and sees stranger danger everywhere. I'm just gonna move this armrest.
Not into it, huh? Guess I should have figured. I'm sad to hear it, but it's your choice, of course. Huh? The floor's wet.
Yeah, that's true.
Wait, is this blood? Oh dear. Are you...
Okay, so suddenly his line towards Kaine is not as out of nowhere as it was before. What he said about time of the month.
Oh, baby, that is one hell of a smell. We got something real nasty nearby, eh, Sunshine? Come on, don't tell me you ain't picked up on it yet. You of all people gotta know what this smell means.
This ship is in poor condition indeed. Do try not to thrash about and bring its timbers down around us, hussy.
Whatever.
You sure you're all right, Kaine?
You really shouldn't push yourself. Hey, I've got an idea. How about you and me search outside and get some nice fresh air in the process?
Sure. Let's do that.
Sounds good. Take care of Kaine for us, Emil.
Emil is on the case. Come on, Kaine. Let's get the lead out.
Get the lead out? I've heard someone say
This
that
place is
before, and I have
pretty
no
gloomy.
idea what that's supposed to
I'm having
mean.
a hard time imagining any townsfolk hanging around here.
Well, as we've no other leads, let the search begin. We require a... Look,
Man, there's... Wait,
I'd perhaps...
Oh yeah, Dash. I'm pretty much finished with my replaying of every fucking Batman Arkham game.
There's no one
except for
here.
Blackgate. I'm not bothering with that one.
it's like we just...
I'm like halfway through doing New Game Plus on Arkham Knight.
What is with this ship anyway?
There may be clues somewhere that tell
God
how
damn,
to run
that game is
aground.
still super flawed, despite being really fun in many other respects. I think I'm actually gonna confidently say I
really
think
dark
Origins
up
is the
ahead.
best one.
Then
I-
perhaps...
Like, okay, I definitely would not have said that back then, back with the old PS3 version, but playing that on Steam now,
What's
I
this?
think that
An
was,
apple?
I think that's the best game
It's a
in the
bit
series.
bruised, but...
I wait...
Sounds...
Like, I'm making a big deal out of that because it just, to me specifically, it sounds heretical. Because I was just as ready to shit on
This
Origins
barrel's
as
been knocked
anybody
over.
else back then.
Wait.
The missing.
Man, this book's got some serious heft to it.
It would seem to. Records of the roots until the.
What the hell?
We've no time to.
But yeah, fucking Knight has so many problems. But some of them I did realize I had exaggerated in my mind. There are boss fights. They're
Did you see
not
that?
great
Hang
boss fights, but they're decent. There are a lot more detective sections than I remember. I ended up playing the ER challenges a lot more than I did originally, and they're actually really fun.
Hey, wait,
And
Especially since there's so many Predator maps that are just not in the main game area. Like the Batcave and Wayne Manor and stuff like that.
there's a breeze.
that white vase is.
Also, holy shit, the combat.
Room. How delightful.
There are a bunch of moves in Knight that I never used in my original playthrough and barely touched for most of my playthrough this time. But then I started to like buy them and unlock them and see. Like, did you ever mess around with the powered up versions of his gadget attacks? Like the batarangs, the grappling gun, and stuff like that. You can buy an upgraded version that uses your combo meter. So to give an example, you know how you can grapple someone, pull them towards you, and then punch them in the face as part of one like move. If you buy the upgrade and you have a combo for a special, you can hold triangle when you do the attack, and instead of pulling them to him, you pull yourself to them and do a zip kick and then do like a body slam to knock them down to the ground and knock them out instantly.
These chests are...
And what? Those.
Like, there's some really fucking cool ones, and I'm like, damn, I wish I had like spent more time unlocking these.
Don't seem to be
Unfortunately,
any shades around, at least.
Fortunate for
yeah,
us.
it's a really
Now
weird
let
looking move.
This.
Unfortunately, I spent most of my upgrade points speeding through the story, buying fucking Batmobile upgrades. Because holy fuck, I was playing it on hard mode,
The white tracks
and
end
the
here.
Batmobile sections are fucking tough. Like all the
Wait,
like the one where
I hear something.
you have to defend the GCPD is I was stuck on that for a while. I tried like 20 times and I was getting nowhere, and I'm like, okay, fuck it. I'm gonna go to the main menu, I'm gonna do the fucking ER challenges and scrape together enough upgrade points that I can buy some armor upgrades and make the car strong enough to actually survive the full fight.
I have to sing and cheer myself up. Where did he go? Why do I feel this way?
Whatever that sound was, it stopped. I swear it sounded like a girl.
This is a voice pipe. A contraption by which one's voice can travel to a faraway location.
Which means the girl is in whatever room this pipe connects to.
Hold a moment. I spy a chart of the ship's layout. Yeah.
On.
So that, I don't remember if we heard her voice in the first playthrough, but
This little lantern has brought us quite far, hasn't it? We've
that would
done
make her
enough
the
searching
only
here.
shade that can speak in a
Onward.
human language. So whatever she's doing to like take on the appearance of a human is working. And here's the room we missed.
Looks like somebody's journal. Here, let me see. It says the ship was attacked by some kind of monster. Seems like the person who wrote this holed up in here, while the monster roamed around the ship, killing everyone. Do you think that actually happened?
I cannot say. Though the term monster might well be referring to a shade.
Well, hang on. There's more. After the screaming died down, the writer would hold their breath whenever they heard the monster's footsteps. I think the person who wrote this was in here for weeks.
This journal was likely the only thing keeping their madness at bay.
Not for long, it didn't.
Let's read a bit more. A whole bunch of pages just have the word help scrolled across them.
See how the writing turns a darker shade of red? They must have started using their own blood after running out of ink.
That just sounds funny to me, because all I'm imagining is the Simpsons bit with Sideshow Bob, where he's like, it's like, die, but use a pen, Sideshow Bob.
A kitchen, is it? Heavens, look at the size of this soup.
There's extra rice. Hold the pepper.
To be thinking back on it, the cuisine we were served.
Tell me about it. I feel once we track down the ferryman.
Yeah, so I think that's the only things on the ship that we missed. Was just those two rooms. Because we're about to fall through the floor.
Another.
Yeah, we fell through the floor and I wasn't able to get back up anymore, so
Vice?
those rooms were just locked
I
off.
think the.
Speak to me.
Okay, so you do actually have to move around doing this and find the lantern, which I believe is to the far left. There we are.
Is that? They
Oh, and now you can see her hand.
Why did things turn out like this? Did he leave because of his body? I just want to be able to talk with him. I don't want him to be afraid of me. I don't want him to hate me. I want to move in a human form. I want to look at the sun with my own eyes. I want to sing beautiful songs. So, if I can just eat more people, maybe then I can become a human.
So that's why she's been hunting people and killing people like the postman. She either thinks it's helping her maintain a human form, or it actually
Hey there,
is.
you two.
Hey, I didn't know you guys came back inside.
Did we ever? Found a nice hole in the wall to slide through. But then we heard.
Yeah, good.
I fear just.
There's a bunch of crumpled up paper here. Letters, maybe?
Oh, this is important.
They all seem to have the same words written upon them, but the penmanship is so poor I cannot make heads nor tails of it.
So Sheads are not only unable to talk, but they also seem to have like no real dexterity in their hands, so they're not able to write
They
either.
seem to be letters.
Or on the other hand, it might just be that the replicants don't write in kanji or
man, that
English,
smell
so
is
they just
getting
can't do the
right.
alphabet.
How you feeling there, Sunshine?
Not great. Can't you tell?
This would be the culprit who murdered the townspeople may be behind.
Yep. So, this boss fight is going to go down mostly the same, except that when it gets to that part where I have to try and stop the shade from attacking us, I can actually win it. I can actually defeat it.
It's that girl we saw when we first entered the ship.
It wasn't possible on the first two runs, but it is on Route C.
Old lad, this is a lone child sitting inside a hulking ship littered with corpses. Something is clearly amiss.
There.
Oh man, this shade is nuts. I think I'm in love. You can feel her power hanging in the air, and she ain't even trying yet. Things are finally heating up. Huh?
Could this girl be the presence you sensed, Kaine?
Oh, hey, it's you. Been a while.
Wait, you're the postman. What are you doing here?
Oh, I've been coming here a lot lately. I think this girl was on the ship when it drifted in. I've been keeping an eye on her until she's well enough to leave. Hey, so this is kind of awkward, but the girl is, you know, bleeding. I brought a bunch of bandages with me, but, well, how exactly does one deal with a woman's time of the month? Sorry. Clearly crossed a line there. Forget I said anything.
Stay the hell away from her! She isn't... We'll figure something out. You just find a way to get the hell out of here.
The two of them will be...
Alright, so we
The
burst through
ship
here.
is very... Shit! Damn, they're in the way!
I forgot about the wheel heads again. Literally
Looks
every
like you can
time
get
I
out through
forget.
that hole up there.
Oh god, that's gonna look so scary when the fucking boss is doing it. Because it just creates just giant walls of the things. Nope, wrong item. Ah, what?
Glad you two made it out in one piece.
Yeah, we're good. But that poor postman is still trapped inside.
We'd better go help him out.
No shade would dare pursue us into sunlight such as
I've just
this.
realized Kanye's weapons are different as well. He's got like weird axes now.
We should use the opportunity to ready ourselves. What on earth?
Now I understand why it's called Episode Mermaid. Because she wants to be human. So that she can be with a human
Why
being.
isn't this shade being hurt by the
Slightly
sun?
different because he's
That
not
is not
a prince,
precisely the
or
case.
he's not meant. It's not like a
It
love
most
interest or like a
certainly
father
is
figure.
being
But
burned by the sunlight. However, its regenerative abilities far outpace whatever damage the light is able to
it's
inflict.
essentially a shade take on Ariel.
This light, something is coming. Get out of the way at once.
Oh, listen, it's singing. This thing actually thinks it's a person.
Doesn't matter how many people I eat, I was never satisfied. Oh my fucking god, the meal heads.
I don't know where the singing lessons came from, but I do know it's sure as hell trying to eat us.
Aim for the tentacles with faces on them.
Don't stop now. Focus on the next one.
I feel more sympathetic for you if we weren't introduced to the fact that you killed an entire ship of people. Although they were mostly slavers, so you know, maybe justifiable. I don't know.
You're doing it for him? How sad. How precious.
Now is our chance. Attack with all that you have.
Alright, time to knock our block off.
Did we get it?
I love how even Emil jumped, like, and it's like, you can fly.
That thing's huge.
You can fly, Emil, did you forget? Oh, I know this song, actually. This is from the Automata
To
boss
think it could
in
recover
the
from
amusement
such a
park,
grievous wound.
Ordinary attacks aren't gonna do shit against this thing.
which is thematically
attack
similar
our
to this
own
character,
attacks
actually, so
to
that's
max.
appropriate.
You get its weakness by now, yeah, Sunshine? Well then, get to carving this bastard up before we're all dead!
I know, damn it, I know. The core of this thing is in the mouth. We need to get up there.
Are you serious?
But how are we supposed to do that?
Instead of wasting time running your mouths, how about you keep attacking the damn thing until it falls over?
Hey, the guy from before's collapsed on the beach. That shade's got some kind of hard-on for it. We should take him hostage.
Shut your yap. I'm not in the business of using my blades on people.
I think it's working.
It's concentrating tremendous magical energy into its head. Attacking it may cause the power gathered there to discharge.
Yeah, so this is something we weren't able to do before. Before we would have failed, no matter how much damage you do to that turtle. You ready for a bit of Shadow of the
Now's your chance.
Colossus?
Run, lad! Attack the part of her that looks like a girl.
The shade's core is inside its mouth! Hurry!
Shit!
So, because we did it that way, we didn't see the dialogue between her and the postman, but it basically just amounts to her, like, getting super depressed and freaked out when he starts attacking her.
Thanks. You really saved our bacon.
You've all done so much for me. I don't have the word. We all knew townspeople were out there being eaten by a shade. But I never imagined I was taking care of it this entire time.
The fault lies with that foul creature alone, Postman. Not yourself.
I hope I can believe that someday.
All right, well, we'd better get going. There's someone else we need to break this news to.
Fair enough. I hope...
Hey, did you... Wait, is he... Come on.
So before we told her the truth, I think I'll lie to her this time, just to see what happens. Because, you know, I'm a bastard that way.
Your husband, left town. For good, I mean.
Does that mean he fell out of love with me? Is it because we were always fighting? Oh, honey, I actually loved fighting with him, you know? It was the only time I felt like we were really communicating.
Yeah, that's not a healthy relationship. That's an oof.
It made me so happy in this weird way. But I guess it was only me who felt that way, huh?
Well, Dash, one of them doesn't require her to pay for a funeral. So, there's that. Man, I'm a piece of shit, goddamn. That might be one of the most cynical things I've ever said.
It saddens this old
Holy
tome
shit.
to think we'll never hear those two at each other's throats again.
If only I'd gotten to him sooner. Damn it.
Which parts do you mean, Kel? The funeral joke, or the fact that they only really communicated when they were fighting?
Do not let it burden
I guess
you
all of
so
it, really.
bad.
The whole thing was
You
toxic.
did the best you...
So yeah, that's excuse me. So that's Louise dealt with, which means that the sisters have now lost their trip east in the hall. Yeah, the communication thing's kind of messed up. I guess it's kind of like Richie and Eddie in a way. They only really communicate to each other through violence and vulgarity.
The hell's
Somehow
this,
it sort of
sunshine?
works.
A letter. That thing wrote it for the postman.
Ha! Man, that is some grade A chicken scratch.
She probably copied the letters as best she could.
So, what's it say?
So, in Route B, we saw this scene, but she tears it up and throws it off the cliff. But in C, she actually gives it to the postman. This
like I was
entire
stuck
thing,
in
episode
some kind of
Mermaid, was
dream.
originally a short story that was written alongside the game. And for the remake, they incorporated it in. And I think her tearing up the letter is like the short stories version.
Hey,
And then
letter
this is
guy.
completely new.
You're that... I mean, how can I help you?
Got a letter for you.
Wait, you have a letter for me?
Yeah, it's from that thing on the ship.
Louise? Let me see. Oh, it says, thank you. Wow, look at this. After all that time I spent trying to teach her to write, she actually managed to string together a few ugly little letters. Damn it. Why can't I stop seeing her smile or hearing that song she used to sing? I know she ate people. I know she was a monster.
So that's what all those letters we found in the ship were, was her previous like failed attempts to communicate. I would assume it's not. It's both a dexterity thing of like she doesn't have the ability to properly write, but also like the replicants probably have their own language at this point. Like we're hearing English, but like it's probably not actually English or Japanese or whatever that the replicants are talking in. So, gotta go tell Port Blair the bad news. But at the very least, we'll get ourselves a new ferryman. And what are we missing? Just Loyal Cerberus. So, just Facade. Where? So, there's a fair bit of new content in this remake, especially combining both the C and B and C routes, and also we did the DLC as well. When in the original, when I did the second routes, like off camera for the Let's Player, it takes like 2 hours to do everything. Like just speed running through all of the events, it takes less than 2 hours. Which is what I expected today's session to be like, but it ended up taking a little longer than that.
You've had quite the rough trip. That poor ferry keeps...
Have you any new...
I'm loyal, sir.
It must...
I would... Oh, since the ferryman was... I'll make...
Even without those we have lost, the world relentlessly continues to turn.
This is the girl who was on the wrecked ship.
Kelsey knows what I mean because she was there. Dash, did you ever watch the TV show Bottom with Richie and Eddie? I've been sharing like clips of it on the Discord. Okay, so yeah, those two are like completely and utterly dysfunctional. They're like heterosexual life partners, but they're not even friends. They hate each other, and that's just kind of their whole deal. And what was I trying to say?
Oh there.
I shared a clip of it on the Discord of just like what essentially happened the last time Dragon Heist played, where we're camping out on what is effectively Weathertop from Lord of the Rings, and like, yeah, we're safe up here, we're fine, and we're hanging out with this NPC, and then some of us get waken up in the middle of the night, and it's like, we got woken up in the middle of the night to discover a fucking werewolf in our camp, and the NPC was gone. And then we realized that the NPC was the werewolf. So we're essentially just cowering inside of our tents, like hoping it doesn't attack us. I mean, like, Oh, fuck. Eddie, I think there's something outside. Well, of course there's something outside,
Does it
Rich.
not strike
You
you
can't
as
expect the
curious to
entire
find
contents of
wolves
the
in
entire...
desert?
Should.
You can't expect the contents of the entire universe to fit within the confines of a small canvas
They
tent.
normally live in forests, yes. Deserts would seem to hold little sustenance for them.
Well, I can certainly guess what they've been eating.
Well, as we discovered with that weapon story, this used to be a forest, and then the people of Facade fucked it up. Yeah, I fucking love that line. like Richie is freaking out. He's trapped inside his sleeping bag, and he thinks there's something stalking them outside the tent. And Eddie just says that, and he's like, "You're awfully philosophical tonight, aren't you, Eddie?" He was like, "Well, yeah, I've had half a bottle of scotch. What do you expect?" Oh my god, I'm an idiot. I've gone the wrong way. Don't go to Facade. Go to your fucking letterbox, read the letter, and it tells you to go to Facade. Fucking video game triggers. Did I save inside the village? I didn't, no, so I better not touch that. I'll have to just run back. I'll use the ferry. It won't take too long.
Say, can you eat scorpions?
Indeed you can. Long ago, people operated food stands where they impaled the creatures on skewers and fried them whole.
Where did you learn that?
Who can say? I do not know. Some portions of the past are inexplicably clear in my memory.
Whatever, Gramps.
What was that hussy?
Well, at least we got that dialogue. Anyway, Oop.
Oh, there.
Yep, take me back home. And I can jump off the bridge to get back to the house faster. Yep,
Probably.
King of Sard. Yeah. I'm not sure why he did that. I assumed the fact that there were enemies around made him draw it automatically. Or maybe I knocked the attack button when I was mashed through the dialogue.
Oh.
Desert. I better check my objective. I hope I've got it right this time. No! Fuck! Shit, I accidentally skipped a cutscene. Okay, that's alright. I remember what it was. It's the wolves overlooking the facade, and the shared one is talking. He talks the others out of the idea of attacking them because it's like, hey, I know they're arseholes, I know they keep killing us, but they're capable of better. I've known decent humans. Let's just try and make this work. Let's just try and be peaceful. I am really sorry for that. God damn it, I'm stupid. I got poisoned for my trouble. I deserve that. It's kind of hilarious how they're not able to really keep up with you when they jump. Like, you're so much slower in the original that, like, you had to really be careful about scorpions. So this song that's playing right now, it's interesting. You'd think it would be the song from the desert in Automata, but it's not. It is the peaceful robots village. And what's missing is this is an instrumental version, but normally the one in Automata actually has singing, and it's like I don't know if it's like a specific genre, but it's like a choir of like kids singing, and it just sounds like complete nonsense lyrics.
We... You...
Of course.
Yeah, so I believe there's another cutscene here. So we're actually gonna... I'm not gonna skip it this time like an idiot. Hurry, one of our brothers is caught in a human trap. Why do they call us? Because the rules see us all, probably. With your flea-ridden curs. Can't let them spoil the king's wedding. It's funny, really, like, the wolves seemed relatively justified even before, just because they're animals. Like, you don't really expect them to be, like, moral about their actions.
What's it to you? Kind of.
What is that?
Yeah.
Oh,
What's
no,
you'll
huh? Yeah, that's not exactly it.
Just realized what Emil's holding. It's not a staff. He's got a... I don't remember what that's called. Do you know, Dash? It's like a... It's kind of like a spear, but it's a sword on the... It's like a... It's a blade on the end rather than a pointy tip. There's a specific name for those, and I can't remember. So there is an unspoken implication to the whole thing. It seemed like things were more or less fine with the wolves before Magatana, right? It seemed like things were more or less fine with the wolves before, but things have gotten worse recently, and I'm wondering if maybe that's because the new King of Facade is so young and inexperienced. Like, he might have made some legitimately bad calls, and that's why things are getting worse for his people. But then again, it's also just implied that their rules, which they follow so doggedly, are just fucking them up in general. That noise, like that, like I don't think know if that one's a stock one, but like pretty much any sound effect that is dog in pain is just really upsetting to me for me to hear. It's the worst if you're playing like something like Resident Evil 4, where like dogs are just like like an enemy type, but when you kill them, they have like a really horrible death sentence. So now we know the wolves' motivations.
Aw, weddings are the best. There's flowers everywhere. Everyone's happy. It's just great. I'm kind of jealous. Aren't you jealous, Kaine?
Nah.
Oh, come on.
理由と螺旋地恋荒れてるわさてれるだ
I've just noticed we don't actually get to see the kiss, because then that would mean having to remove the masks.
That wolf is a shade.
We raised our forests and poisoned our streams, and now you'll slaughter our young.
The leader seems to have the power to reflect magic.
They're still not great, but I'm so glad they improved the wolves' character models. Because the PS3 ones were some of the worst I've ever seen. Like, they did not look like proper wolves. They were like weirdly top heavy, so like the front part of their body was much larger than the back.
あっちあれ
いや答えよれるよ
たく
なんだ
So I feel bad about skipping the scene, but I'm going to, just because there's definitely nothing new in here.
すれて
The king's grief is strong. I doubt he will stand down at this point.
Yeah, I'm guessing he'll run off to take on the wolves any time now.
Will we let him go by himself?
Of course not. Hell, I hate the wolves too.
Then we must prepare for the fight. It will not be an easy one.
I know.
I don't remember if we watched the cutscene a second time in the Let's Play with me and New, but I remember it bothered the fucking crap out of us, Fira's death.
Are you ready?
So I feel like we
Yeah.
probably skipped it.
Time to avenge Fira.
Fira is not the only victim here. Those damnable wolves continue to claim the lives of my people. I will not let them suffer any more as their kingdoms take a stand.
Madness.
It
If
海賊
Is this all that remains? The humans will be upon us shortly. We can make our escape if we move now. I hear you, my brothers, and I share your desire to die with honor. The resolve is strong in your pathfinder view. For the lives of our comrades, for the pride of our pack. Death to the invaders.
Kuri, Zerugan touched Lee itte, kutai.
Forget it. It's for Fira.
Let's move.
So he's immune to magic, so I can focus on the regular wolves for now.
The wolves appear to be targeting the king. He seeks the king of Facade. Such dogged, unwavering defiance. Why do these beasts hold so much rage? The smaller wolves are not infected with shades. But as for the leader...
If even one shade is here, then I have to kill all of them.
Above you! Stay on your guard!
Didn't realize before, but the wolf dies the exact same way Fira did, with the back being broken against a hard stone. Well, she doesn't quite die, but the same thing happens.
You must endure. Go, live, and think of me again. Thank you for being my friend.
So my understanding of it is, that old man was someone who was offered to be part of the replicant Gestalt process to become a shade, but he felt that he was already too old and he didn't really want to continue on. So instead, he had his pet wolf go through it instead. Now, they don't clarify exactly whether the disease affected animals, but there is like a line somewhere, I forget where it is, but the guy's like, at some point in the past, like, every single plant and bit of vegetation on the planet was gone. Like, it all died out. Like, he did carbon dating, and the oldest thing, the oldest, like, plant life that he has been able to find is only like 500 years old. So it seems like everything got wiped out, and then the androids probably artificially brought it back by using like sealed samples and stuff like that. And the same thing might have happened with animals, which is the only reason I can think of for why his pet would have been turned into a shade at all. Although that's mostly speculation on my part. They really don't elaborate too much on the Cerberus.
I believe that young Fira was... Of course. She was terribly proud of her king. Is that another...
They live and die by their rules, and kill by their rules.
The poor king.
This is all the Shade's fault.
So, I wasn't really sure when to bring it up, but you know what the deal is with facades, like what the inspiration was? They're actually based on Japan. They're kind of a meta commentary on like living in Japan and its culture. And he was talking about how obviously it's insanely exaggerated, but in Japan they are incredibly bound by rules, tradition. Like, you do not do cultural taboos no matter what. And you practically work yourself to death because of their work culture. And Facade is kind of like an extreme exaggeration of that.
Can't take the boat out right now because the canal's apparently crawling with shades. Hate to say it, but I'm afraid you're gonna have to walk.
Yep, and that there is why we have that. There is just so we can hear a cutscene trigger. I definitely said that last time we were in the desert, of like, why do we not have a more convenient fast travel system? And the answer is because they put lots of triggers everywhere and they want us to hit them.
What is it?
So, we can finally save Yona now, huh?
It would appear that way. What is it, lad? You've quite the pensive look on your face.
Listen, I need your advice. It's about Kaine and Emil. This upcoming fight with the Shadow Lord is gonna be rough. And while I'd do anything for Yona, I'm not sure it's fair to drag the two of them into this.
Are you truly worried about such a thing now? After all our merry little band has been through?
Hey, the fuck's this hot garbage you've been spewing?
Someone's been eavesdropping, eh?
Kaine, Emil, look, I just...
Wanted to leave us behind? Why, so we'd be safe? Fuck that.
Kaine's right. You accepted me. You told me we'd be together no matter what happens. Now it's time for us to return the favor.
Don't make me start talking about loyalty and debts and all that. You know I hate mushy shit.
But...
If it makes you feel better, we're not doing it for free. After we rescue Yona, we're totally gonna call in a favor of our own. We're going on a journey to cure Kaine's possession and restore my body. It's gonna be tons of fun. Just think of all the delicious local foods we can try along the way.
I'm gonna eat way more than my fair share. So you better get ready to pony up.
Thanks, you two. We're gonna rescue Yona. I swear it.
I marvel at how relatively simple a task this retrieval process proved to be. It is almost as if someone deliberately set us on this path.
You're overthinking again, Vice.
But
I don't care if it's a trap. Yona's waiting for me and I'm going.
I see.
So, before we head off to the finale, I'm going to jump to the title screen. And I'm going to switch back to the regular costumes because I'll leave the Emil heads on, but the costumes I think I'll switch back to standard. The Emil heads are gotta steer. That's just gotta. Be concerned, Dash, because I am starting to get used to them. Just a little. Also, we're almost at level 40, so I'm not sure what this game's level cap is. It's probably level 99. Let's see. So, nothing else for us to do. Yeah, it is, but you'll never reach that. That's just like, if you want to go for it. NieR Automata is a little weird in that respect because it also has a level cap of 99, but the main story only really requires you to go up to 50, and there's very few enemies that can challenge you beyond that, but there are some, like secret bosses, where you want to be at max level, and it's just like, it honestly feels like it was a little poorly thought out, like it needs a bit more...
Why would Popola be...
It needed more padding. Like, I know that's a weird thing to say, but it needed more things that could challenge you from the 50 to 99 range, because there isn't that many. So you end up like stomping a lot of things and struggling against a couple in it that are actually strong.
You're really gonna do it? The whole village is buzzing, you know. They say you're gonna go rescue Yona. I guess it's really happening, huh?
I'll bring her back. I promise.
About that.
Yeah?
Nothing. Never mind. Popola just loves to worry. Anyway, you be careful. Yes. Do be careful.
Thanks.
You lying, scheming bitches. Goddamn. Like, oh, no, it irks me now that I think about it. They're lying to my face. Since we're here, might as well start.
That work?
Come again.
I got all that money. How much money do I have? Because I got a lot doing the DLC. Almost, okay. Over 350,000.
Come again.
I should save again. And then back up to save. Because something's coming up not relatively soon that could cause me to lose it all. Not in a bug kind of way, but never mind. You'll see. Alright, give me one sec. Documents. My games. There we go, sorted. That's just my insurance policy, just in case things get horribly fucked up and I need to continue. I think I might actually try going for all the achievements on this game, and that'll be easier if I have the backup saves.
Oh there, getting on?
Yep, take me to the, Okay, actually, hold on. Where am I?
Oh there.
It is the Lost Shrine, isn't it? I'm just making sure. Yes, head to the Lost Castle.
Oh there.
It's because I'm confused, because, okay, I know what's going on. That red dot in the middle is on NieR's village, because it's directing me towards the ferryman that I'm talking to, as opposed to my actual objective, which is the Lost Shrine.
Welp, now they can finally enter the Shadow Lord's castle. Yes, but we can't relax just yet. If he kills the Shadow Lord, the entire plan will collapse. We'll need to restrain him before that can happen. Come on, you really think he'll listen to us? Maybe. It's just... I don't know. Lately, I've been thinking a lot about all the time we used to spend with him. Devila! I know. We can't afford that kind of thing, I get it. But I know you feel it too. Even if I did, we have no choice. We were designed to do this. It's funny, I'm even concerned about this. I mean, it's not like he has a soul.
So that, thinking about it, that has like really fucked up implications, because how do I put this? You know how you can debate the meaning of your own existence and your afterlife and all that when you're uncertain of whether there's such a thing? Like, you don't know whether there's an afterlife. But in NieR, not only do we know there's an afterlife, we know that souls exist, because that's what shades are. So they definitely removed the souls from the body and created these lifeless husks. But then the lifeless husks are now taking on personalities and lives of their own. And it really raises a serious question of, like, what does that actually mean they are? Like did they develop a new soul? Or are they just imitating them like robots? Oh fuck. Fucking a giant Emil head just smacked me off the fucking ladder. Right as I was getting philosophical. Don't kick me off, don't kick me off, don't kick me off, don't kick me off. Weird and sad is a pretty good summary. I definitely would not call his games perfect, not even in the story department, but how do I put this? This is a weird place to go with this, but it reminds me a lot of Resident Evil in some ways, but in a gameplay standpoint with Resident Evil. Courtney being so disappointed in Resident Evil, like recent titles, got me thinking about how... trying to articulate my thoughts. Let's say you play like a Ubisoft game, like, or just, you know, your standard open world fare, whatever, right? You go into those games, Jesus Christ, those heads are scary. You go into those games expecting a 5 out of 10. Like, realistically speaking, you're expecting the most average experience possible, and that's exactly what you get. You get an average game that's doing nothing special or unique, and you're not disappointed as a result. You got exactly what you thought you would, and what you paid for. When Capcom puts something out, more often than not, you hold it to a much higher standard, because they actually like seem to give a shit about making unique games, and sometimes they horribly and miserably fucking fail, like, I don't know, Gun Survivor 2, and other times they make something like the best thing ever, like Resident Evil 2's remake, or other times they do something that didn't quite live up to your hype, but like, you expected Resident Evil 2 remake and you got Resident Evil 3's remake, and it's like, ah, fuck, what a piece of shit. And it's like, no, that was still better than like 90% of games you've ever played, but it wasn't as good as RE2 remake, so like, fuck that, fuck disappointing piece of shit. I'm annoyed because I expected so much more from it. With the Drakengard games and stuff in NieR, it's like you go into these with relatively low expectations when you first approach them, and when you do start to get into them and they constantly surprise you with unique stuff, it's easy to like forget the flaws, and then you try to introduce new people to it and you're like, look at this cool game, and they're like, what about all this crap? Or what about the Forest of Myth? What about the original version's bad combat? What about the fact that the level scaling after 50 is shit in NieR Automata? You know, what about the god-awful PC port for the Automata? And you're like, those are all true, but I'm trying to look at it as an overall package. Like, I'm very satisfied with this, despite its glaring flaws. And I'd much rather play that than Ubisoft, whatever title of the year. Alright, because of it lacked disease. Alright, separating body from soul, corresponding shells.
Well then, it seems the way is open.
Yep, I don't think there's anything new with these two. Here to rescue Yona.
No.
Davila, what's happening?
Sorry, but this fate was predetermined. Still, we spoke to truth. We really wanted to avoid this if possible. We were hoping to put it off for 100 years or so, until the next generation came along.
Yeah, so they're referring to, like, the generations of replicants. Because they always die out, and then they just remake all the same bodies over again. So there's been dozens and dozens of NieRs and Yonas.
Kill them all.
And they're like, yeah, kind of like this one. Can we wait till the next one?
This is madness. Why do you
before we
block
have to do this
our
plan?
You have no cause to speak so with us, Grimoire Weiss. You are a traitor.
It feels like the only thing that happened differently that fucked everything up was the fact that Weiss got brain damage. Like, if he could still remember what he was supposed to do as part of his job, then things probably would have turned out very differently.
They copied my powers.
Shit on a shingle. They can use the sealed verses.
Of course we can. The power came from us in the first place. You were simply loaned a small portion of it.
Vice, are you all right?
Popola, why are you guys doing this? Why are you siding with the Shades! Why?
The answer to every riddle lies within the heart of the Shadow Lord.
Devila and Popola are fighting us.
Yes, they do seem to be putting us through a great deal of...
You okay, Vice?
How odd. For long years, my mind and tongue have been my greatest assets. But now the latter seems to be... Hell,
Vice?
do not look at me like that. I am Grimoire Weiss. I am perfectly...
This feels like an odd place to
think I
stop
hear a waltz.
the stream, but we are at 4 hours and 30 minutes, and I'm debating whether or not to just continue the stream from this point next time. What do you think? Because I feel like I would need at least another half an hour to get to credits.